Right, jump cut over. Here he is, completely transformed into his Cybertronian robot mode. This is the beginning version of Optimus Prime, as after he has just become the Prime. Let's see if I can hold him better. So, as you can see, he has got a kind of meaner look to him, much beefier, and he has actually got a very good set of detail on him. Now, I'll try and hold this as best as I can. The only fiddly bit is the hand, which is no surprise because the gun is actually slightly bigger than the actual hand itself, so you have to be a bit careful. But he does have pretty good articulation. It's a bit stiff because obviously it's been sitting in a box in my loft, my parents' loft for a while. However, he does. You his head moves side to side. His arms move. That's not supposed to happen. He's got very good detail on him. Both his legs move, so you can actually put him, doing, the Matrix saying no like that. Sorry, I know it's bad. So he does actually stand up quite well. I'll turn him around, point you down in a sec. There you go. So Prime does stand up quite well. Where is it? But then, after one particular day at work, I came across a little snippet of info that shook me to my core. I have never been so much engrossed in trying to find something. Oh, should point out as well, the War Within Primes all come with their own little molds, little stands, and the Megatron one isn't very good. The Prime's better. But my big piece de resistance is, now, as you are aware, as I said a second ago, I am a fan of Transformers. I think it's just an ingenious idea. Until I came across this and I nearly peed myself because I was so excited when I finally found and bought this and it arrived through my door. Let me put it to you this way. You don't get instructions with this, I should point out. I've had to print these off because so far I have not transformed this on the fact that I do not want to break it. I'm that cautious with it, okay? It's 5 pages to transform him. Okay, I should point out, yes, this is Optimus Prime, and this should give you a little clue of just how big this Optimus Prime is. Before I go into it, I will point out this one actually talks. Fortunately, I've found out it's not voiced by Peter Cullen. And as you can see, it's got the little matrix symbol on top, and I'll explain why in a minute. So, if you can hear it.
All we need is a little energon and a lot of luck. Autobots, transform and roll out. I want you to make a special run to Autobot City. Megatron must be stopped. All we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.
Right, for those of you who have seen the original cartoon film that I reviewed and added to my list many months ago, that is from the original movie. Now, in this version of Prime, you get a few accessories. So, for instance, on this one, you get the transformed version of Megatron into his gun form. What I could never work out was, with the exception of the cassette Decepticons, so Ravage, Ratbat, and Rumble and Frenzy, they were small already. So they shrunk down to the size that they were meant to be. However, Megatron was a full-size Transformer. And he shrunk down into something that small to actually be held by another Transformer. Now, it'll be like, me transforming down to the size of Vash's gun. I just could never understand. I know, before anyone points out it's not real, yes, I am well aware of that, but it just didn't really make sense. For instance, in the new film, he transforms into a fighter, and then a tank, and then a truck. But it's still the same size as what he would normally be if he was in his robot form. So, if someone understands why, just tell me. And then you get Prime's Energon Blade, which I only ever saw him use once in the original series, And then his iconic ion blast. No, sorry, his I don't know what type of gun this was. Megatron had an ion cannon on his arm, but this is the most awesome Transformer. Sorry, I'm having to do this quite sneakily. Bear with. Stop. Because this is the 75th anniversary Optimus Prime. Ready? This is how big it is. It's enormous. I was so chuffed when this arrived through the post. And well, let me put it this way. It has the original box, the person I bought it from, 75 quid to buy this, including postage, but it is so detailed. I cannot even begin to describe how much of a little girl I was when I originally found this and bought it. Now, I am told, actually, I'm not told, I have found on the box, it actually shows that he can transform into his truck form. But the reason, as I said before, that I haven't transformed him is because I don't want to break it. Now, I was having to read the instructions today, and it says that Prime's mouth moves, but for some unknown reason, I can't get his mouth to move. I'm not too worried about that, so, you know. Actually, real quick. Oh, okay, that's not why. One sec. Yeah, so you press this button on the back of his head and Prime's mouth moves. And then this button up here is supposed to turn on lights, annex lights, which are somewhere. Oh well. It does have lights on there, but you have to change the batteries. But then, when I opened it and had a really proper look at this, I have found that it's the actual version. They've kept it properly from the original cartoon film. And if you know what that means, it comes with its own matrix of leadership. Now, I have found on Amazon and eBay that you can buy a proper version, well, obviously not a real one. Otherwise, it'd be Power in Cities and everything. You can actually buy a full-size person version of the Matrix of Leadership, which does open up properly. Only a little bit though. But if you can see that, you see it? It does actually open properly, as if it like it does in the film. And this version of Prime's hands will actually accommodate it. Now, you can, I'm told, take out the battery compartment to actually put new lights in. But I don't want to, I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to plop that back and get in there. See them up. So, as I said, this is the 75th anniversary of Prime. Now, the detailing on this is just, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I'm going to have to do size because of just how big it is. So, like, for instance, his head is just perfectly detailed. The chest is just as good. He's got all the old little bars. And then, obviously, it goes down to his waist, then his legs. And then on the back, it's actually got how he would transform if I were to transform it. I might give it a go one day. Probably not today because it's 20 to 10 and I've got stuff to do before I go to bed, like tidy this up. But it's just amazing how detailed this one little thing, I should say. I think he's about, if I had to guess, actually, back in a minute. 2 secs. Right, tape measure at the ready here. This Optimus Prime is exactly 12 inches tall. Now I'm going to turn it around just so I can prove it. Or close enough to it. Let's put him in front. Yeah, if you want me to be exact, he is exactly 1 foot tall. But it's 1 foot of pure awesomeness. And the other thing I've just remembered is that he actually comes with a couple of little extras. So, for instance, the articulation on this is as if it was a proper, a proper robot. It could do a 360 turn. He actually has a little communicator on this side. So, for instance, he's got the little buttons inside, and then the actual little design on the front is Grimlock. And then on the other arm, he has the same, but on this version, it's good old. Where is it? It's old Megatron on this side. So he can, for some unknown reason, talk to Decepticons as well as the Autobots. So that is the 75th anniversary of Optimus Prime. This is the other thing that I should point out. It shares with the Terminator. The inside of the arms are actually proper struts. So when the arm bends, it's not just a piece of plastic, it's actually a proper metallic strut inside to move around properly like an arm. The wheels move and everything. The feet actually do, like I said, it does have a very good articulation, so the feet will actually move properly. Why can't we build robotic or prosthetics properly like this? I know it's a bit far in the future and all that, but even so, it would be so much benefit for people and everything. I might actually have to change the batteries on, put new batteries in this. I'm quite curious as to see what it looks like when it lights up. But yeah, so that is the 75th anniversary of Optimus Prime, and that is what I found lying in my man box, basically, of cool, awesome stuff. Now, I'm going to be having a bit of a break because Christmas is coming up. So, if I do go ahead and have a break, which is probably very doubtful, then my next one will be. I've got the Bop It, not Bop It, a game called Pass the Bomb, which is not something made by Al Qaeda, but I will explain at the time. So, if I do the review, then I will. If I don't, have a very Merry Christmas and a very good New Year. I'm sure all of you will, and you'll probably eat as much your own body weight in food and such, and enjoying whatever presents you give and whatever presents you receive, etc. And as I said, have a happy Christmas and a good New Year. Or failing that, I'll just see you next Saturday. Peace out and rock on.